Game Radio, we go ham. It's your boy Tony G, Big Lou, the sports book every Tuesday night. So much to talk about. I mean, basketball, the Breeders' Cup, hockey, NFL, NCAA. I mean, the list is on and on. Um, LSU had a rough one this week. That was a
Yeah, that was a rough one. USC, I mean, oh man, what more can he do? You know,
yeah.
they definitely their defense is terrible. But for all of the sportsbook army, in case you're wondering why I'm donned in all black with the shades, it is because after the injury reports and the things that we say before you place your bets, I was able to make some last minute changes and it did me well. So therefore I am dressed in all black because I murdered
There you
last
go.
weekend. So here's
That's a
my,
good.
you know,
There you go. That means, man. I'll tell you what. Like I always say, people always want to bet on the games they watch, and which is fine. But I'm telling you, what you want to do is try to find your advantages that you have. Um, that's for sure. Last week with the NFL, Thursday night game, Pittsburgh 5-3, beating the Titans. I'm really surprised that the Titans they don't want to unbutt the Henry. They're trying to keep him, and I just hate to see it because to
yeah,
me, it's gonna turn out like another Barry Sanders.
yep, because they need a lot. They need a lot of stuff. And if they just, they let Travis Henry go and they could get some stuff in there and then they could also have a younger running back or, draft one out of college. Not to say that, Derrick Henry is over the hill, but, the injuries are starting to get, are
The
starting to
whole
get a little
team,
repetitive. Yeah, the whole
yeah.
team
I mean,
actually.
the whole team. I
So they
mean,
need a
uh,
reset, and holding on to Henry is not gonna, win them anything. Not the AFC. That not the AFC South. That's Jacksonville's division to take or to lose rather.
and then Pittsburgh keeps winning with Kenny Pickett. That was like I said, that was a good game. There was a lot of good games this week. That was
Oh yeah.
one. The Dolphins and the Chiefs. That was on 8 o'clock in the morning. It was the Chiefs squeak another one out.
Yeah. Squeaked
And,
another one out. And now it's got everyone, questioning Miami's you know, they're questioning the toughness or fortitude of Miami. It's like, okay, are they only real good against bad teams? Because it seems like when they run into teams that have potentials to be in the playoffs, they come up short, you know. So it's hard to
well, I
say.
think
I'm not
it's
going to
hard to
count
say.
them out, but some teams just have their number, and I'm pretty sure that Kansas City, they put a dart on this game as well.
They did. It was. I mean, the money was with the under. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's for sure. And the Chiefs pulling it out. And the Chiefs are 7-2. Miami 6-3. Their year's not over. Um, but going forward, like I always say, man, there's a lot of subpar in the NFL right now. There's some elite, and then there's some subpar. Um,
Yes.
did you do what? The Vikings? How about the Vikings pulling one out
Yeah,
with their
Vikings
back?
pulling one out with and this dude, I mean,
Dot.
just Dobbs, Tony. This dude was signed 2 days before the game. So he's basically running into the huddle with a sheet of paper saying, hey, you go here, you go run to yours and put cross and made it work. Now I
He
understand that he's highly intelligent and he has a degree he's super smart.
he's going to be an
I get
astronaut,
yeah.
like a real astronaut. He's going to work for NASA. He's got a thing. I
Yeah.
mean, this
So
guy's like smart on a whole nother level. He did good
yeah.
against the Cowboys. They beat the
Oh
Cowboys.
yeah.
Um, and to come in, like you said, 2 days before and put up the
And just
W
crank out
is
that and just crank out that win against Atlanta, which is another hungry little team. But you know, as
it
Falcons
was
fans say, they found a way to falcon it up.
yeah,
Now that's
that's
not me. That's Falcons fans saying it.
that's and so Dobbs goes to the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns play the Cardinals, and they got a big goose egg. The Browns beat them 27-0. Um,
That
with
defense.
that defense, and that running game, consistent. Um, Deshaun Watson had a pretty decent day. I mean, 219 yards, didn't have any interceptions. Arizona was it was terrible. I you know they're definitely going to get some draft picks.
Oh yeah.
They're on
They're they're
they're
they're
on
in, they're in the sweepstakes now.
yeah they're 1-8. Um, I mean they're
Yeah. What are they?
I
We're
mean they
halfway through the season. We're halfway through the
halfway
season already.
we're halfway through the season. The Ram I mean it's just crazy, just definitely crazy. But we picked the Browns. Um, and the Rams and the Packers. What do you think about the Rams? Just not the Rams. What do you think? So like the Rams are another one. Jordan Love had a good day. Um,
Mhm.
now LA's quarterback's injured. They had a Rippin in there. Green Bay just handled him. I mean
Yeah,
Green Bay
Ribbon totally wasn't ready.
no, he definitely wasn't ready. And the money was on Green Bay
Hmm.
at home, 20-3. Um, just it was just one of those games. The Patriots and the Commanders. Everybody's on Bill Belichick. It's time for a change. Time for him to go. Again, in his, they talk about, he hasn't picked that many players. Again, he did win a Super Bowl from the time 2012 to now, won two. So it ain't like he. I don't know. I'm not saying it's not time for a change, Lou, but um, it's just one of those things, and it probably is time for a change with the Patriots. Jordan, not Jordan. You know, Mac Jones isn't terrible. I don't
No,
think he's terrible. I mean, Sam Howell had a pretty good day, over 300 yards, had an interception, but Mac Jones isn't doing well in that system.
no.
Um, I mean,
So
that's
it's either, especially with Belichick being a defensive minded coach, and it's apparent that Josh McDaniels is nothing but an offensive coordinator. If that. So no, I'll have to give him the offensive coordinator. I'll give him that. Head coach, just check the record. Um, they need to refresh. They need an offense. They need an offensive refresh. He needs to get them a young mind in there that can design some plays that's suitable for what Mac Jones is good for. Maybe reach out to Saban, their homeboys. Maybe Saban can find someone that's got some good stuff that can help Mac Jones elevate. Because that's probably what the problem is. They're lacking on offense, so he needs some people in there that can assist him on that side of the ball. Same
this
thing,
is.
I think, is the same problem that Buffalo had, but we'll talk about them later.
I do agree with you there. But yeah, the Patriots, like I said, the Commanders got 2017. You know what's so crazy is the Bills. The Bills beat the Commanders. They they lose to the Patriots. The Commanders come back and beat the Patriots. I mean, it's so it's so flip flopping around. This next
Right.
game, I got some questions for you. I'm trying to understand how the Saints made the Chicago Bears look so good.
I, I like I said, like
They
I
got the
said,
win.
we got the dub, we got the win, but like I said, of uh lack of offensive scarcity. If that's the thing. If not, we just made it up today. Lack of
I'll go.
offensive scarcity. What is that? Okay. Before everybody knew, okay, solid defense of the Saints, but you feared the offensive attack. We're too predictable now. And Derek Carr is not Drew Brees, but he should be a good enough quarterback to where our wins look good. We're having sloppy wins. And it may be, the lack of talent. I think Dennis Allen is totally clueless of their side of the ball. And that's what happens when you have defensive coaches. I'm not saying that they're not needed in the NFL because defense do help win championships. But what I'm saying is, if you're a defensive coach, sometimes you got to get out of your way and let some offensive gurus run your offense. Let someone run your offense, concentrate on what you know best. But as a head coach, you can't spend all your time on one side of the ball. So
I mean,
get somebody in. Yeah,
there was a time in this game I thought the Saints were going to lose. I mean, there. I mean,
yeah.
it was. I mean, they pulled it out in the fourth quarter. I mean, the first half. I mean, Chicago moved the ball at will. I mean, you got to remember Tyson Bagnett. He did have 3 interceptions. This is a third
Mhm.
string quarterback that played well. Really, if you ask me, the week before he played well. I mean, I don't have anything. I mean, but they were in they had 3 interceptions. The Saints and Chicago was still in the game to the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I
And it
mean,
shouldn't
this
have
could have
been.
went either
It shouldn't
way.
have been
Yeah,
close. Right. The
should have
game shouldn't
never
have been
been close.
close, especially with the weapons that we have. You know, that's why I say there's no offense, there's no creation in the offense to utilize the weapons that he has. They're just doing the same thing, and it's not working. People are
No,
figuring it out.
yes, they got the blueprint. Um, Now the Ravens came to play. I thought this was going to be a little closer of a game.
I did
Um,
as well. I did as well,
we had
but
we had the under, but the Ravens. I mean, Seattle did not look good against the Ravens. Geno
no.
Smith had 1 interception. Wasn't like he had a bunch.
Hmm.
Lamar had 187 yards. The running game, Mitchell went off at 138 yards, and it's going back to controlling the time of possession and doing what you
Hmm.
want to do. Because, like I said, Gino had 1 interception. It was not that he had a bunch of interceptions, but
Right.
man, the Ravens they ran the ball down their throat, and there was
Yeah.
no answer. There was no
Hmm.
answer. There were some good prop bets on this for some yardage. Sometimes go to your boost and see. Sometimes they'll have 2, 3 player props are a little bit rough, even though they always will show you. They'll always advertise the one guy that had this stupid prop. I get it, but I mean, try to find a player with a reasonable number that you think he could do. But yeah, the Ravens were all over him. But I tell you what, this next game, I was watching this, and Baker Mayfield did not play a bad game.
No, he did.
No, he did
No, he
not.
did not.
But C.J. Stroud, he played a super game. Okay, that's all I got to say. He had,
He was
you
just
know what I'm saying,
excellent. He was just excellent.
470 yards with 5 TDs and no interception. It was all
This is a
aerial
rookie.
attack.
This
Yeah,
is a rookie. The dude
they
just
had
got here.
three. They had 3 wide receivers over 100 yards. Three.
It's like a Madden video game.
Man, it was like the greatest show
Ridiculous.
on turf. Yes,
Yeah,
I
it is
mean,
ridiculous.
and it was a shootout, 39-37. It wasn't like, but man, Texas, my hat's off to Texas. They're 4-4.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud is a stud. Good pickup. They got a lot more to
Hmm.
work to do. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, he picked. I mean, they scored a lot of points. It's an older Tampa Bay defense, depleted
Hmm.
on. I mean, it's not like it was once. But this was a heck of a game, a heck of a shootout. Did the overpaid, but was a really good game. the Colts and the Panthers really wasn't much surprise here.
Right.
The Panthers, 27-13. 27-13. Wasn't really, this didn't blow my socks off. Like, I wasn't really surprised.
Right.
Minshew, he had 127 yards. Bryce Young had 173, but he had 3 interceptions, and Indianapolis took advantage of every single one that he threw. That's kind of where that went. How bad are the Giants? Just tell me, how bad are they? Are they as bad as we think they are, or are they worse?
So, well, the Giants are as bad as we think they are, but they just so happen to run into a revamped Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead Raiders team that
New coach, new
finally,
everybody.
right, that finally had a chance to have some fun on the field.
Yes.
Football is fun again, and when football is fun and the dead atmosphere is gone, you win. So we can clearly see what the problem was. We can clearly see what the problem was. You get rid of the problem, everything comes together, there's camaraderie, and you get a dub. So, but the Giants,
What
yes, they are a very bad.
he
And
went from coach of the year last year to not so much this year.
they paid the wrong player.
And he's hurt. He's out for the rest of the season. Tyrod
Yep.
out. They're just and the Raiders, hey man, good what's so crazy is I wonder if Barkley's like, man, I should get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Squad. I wonder if he's thinking like, because he's been having some good numbers. It ain't like he ran for 90 yards. I wonder if he's
Right.
thinking like, I need to get up out of here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I,
Because
I, I
man,
agree 100% because it is not looking good for the future. And it's like, look, just get me out of here, guys.
that's right. Just get me out of here. Because, the Giant. Realistically, the Giants are 2-7,
Mhm.
and as bad as they're playing, I could see them being 2-15.
Wow.
Really, I don't. You see someone they're beating. I haven't seen their. I haven't checked their. They got to play the Cowboys again. They got to play the
Yeah.
Eagles. Maybe
So that's two
Washington.
L's. And that's
Yeah,
probably
maybe.
three L's the way Washington, they're on the roll right now.
So I don't see them. They got more games than that, but I'm just saying I don't see. I don't know who they're beating. Um, I mean, I'm sure there could be some heads that will roll at the end of the season with
Oh, yeah.
um with he could go from coach of the year to not having a job. But
Wow.
good win for the Raiders because man, in the last
Hmm.
5 or 6 years, the Raiders have had a lot of turmoil. And what's so crazy is they have a lot of turmoil, and it's with the coaching.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. We got rid of
Yeah.
Chucky. We brought an
Told you, got rid of
intern
Chucky
in.
with allocation.
You get brought it. We brought
Brought
an
an
intern
intern
in
in.
who did good. Then we got rid of
Okay.
him,
Yeah, that he
and
bring
then we
in
bring
Josh
in
McDaniels
who you think is
and
going to be. He
right,
was terrible, and
terrible.
they paid him. They wrote a check. What was it, $45 million to get him out?
Yeah. Yeah. He
Holy
got
cow!
paid not to do his job.
He got paid not to do his job. That's how bad.
And and, and that's how bad it was. He come through and he just, you know, destroys the camaraderie in the locker room. And no one wants to play for a coach that can't let them be, who they are. There's a
Right.
certain, there's a certain ritual to what players do to be great. And if you can't let them be that, then they can't be great. And you're stunting, they're stunting their growth. And that's what was happening because
Absolutely.
we see the results. It was straight dub. Soon as he was gone. Soon as
The
he was
bottom
gone.
line is Vegas spent a couple $1 billion to bring them people there.
Yeah.
They built a state of the art. Looks like Darth Vader. I mean, the city did, and it's time for the Raiders. And I don't like I said the owner. He got rid of him. Good for him. He wrote a check, which is it's I don't know any other career that you can stink at, and they give you $45 million to go. That's not a
Yeah, to
bad.
stop, you stink it up, not lose, you know, not only money but credibility to my team. So I'm just going to pay you to get away from me.
Get away from us. The next game is the Cowboys and the Eagles. Did you watch this game?
Yes, I did, and it was a great game.
It
Actually, it was a
was.
great game. I was very impressed with the game. The outcome was what I thought it was going to be. You
Yep,
know, Dak and actually Dak played excellent. He played pretty good. He played
he
pretty good
did.
this game.
He did.
But
He didn't have interception. He had 3 TDs. He had 374 yards. The Now I will say this: Philly, Philly's a team to beat. Philly's got one major problem, one huge problem. Jalen Hurt is hurt.
mhm,
That leg ain't right. You know what I'm saying? That leg ain't right, and they better protect him the rest of the season to keep him off that leg because that leg ain't right.
right.
Um,
Mhm,
so my hats off to the Cowboys for putting up a heck of a fight. Out of
mhm.
this game and the game we're about to go to, I think there was a lot of good things that Dallas came out of this with. They hung tight. They got some ground to definitely make up. They're 5-3. The good news is, and a lot of people, I mean, the Cowboys they're playing the Giants this week, so they have an opportunity. They got a couple easy peasies, a couple wins there. I mean, nothing's easy in the NFL, but they got some games that they should have not a problem with, and they're going to have to meet Philly. Philly's going to come to Dallas, um,
Mhm.
and like I said, Jalen Hurt, that leg ain't right, and so they're. I mean, that's. But they got a heck of a team, man. He's a heck of a competitor. Shows a lot of class. Somebody was telling me a story. You remember when they pulled him in the national championship game, and they put in Tua. One thing I
Yeah.
liked about Jalen Hurt. One thing I liked about Jalen Hurt was he didn't whine. He was on the sidelines cheering on Tua. So that to me, that shows
Mhm.
a lot of class. He has a lot
Yeah.
of class, and he's a winner. And I'm not a big Eagles fan by any means, but I like him. I always tell people, not that I mean, I got a team, but I like a lot of players on a lot.
Yeah.
There's players that I go, oh man, I like that guy. And Jalen Hurt
Right.
is
Right.
definitely he's a winner. And like I said, Dak played a good game. The Cowboys came up a little short. There was a couple questionable calls.
Yeah. A couple of miscues by Dak too. He missed a
Yeah, and there
couple
were
of touchdowns. He missed a wide open touchdown to Brandon Cook, and he also missed a wide open touchdown on another play I watched on some film previously on some highlights. But
and
yeah. But
Mike
that
McCarthy made some mistakes. He
yeah,
mishandled time management, which is about the 20th
it's
time
his,
this has happened. Yeah.
that's his Achilles heel. That's his Achilles heel. Time management.
And in the tight ones, that's just weird. But like I said, very good game.
Mhm.
Next game is the Bills and the Bengals. We said last week
Yeah.
that the Bills and the Cowboys, these were big games. The Cowboys lost, but I looked at it like it was a win in some areas where they do
Mhm.
they were a tweak away. Um,
Right.
I don't feel that way with the Bills. I feel like we got a lot of work to do. Um, Probably we're in a wild card situation, maybe. Um, I mean, unless something totally turns around, but got a lot of injuries. Um, and we made this a little closer than it was. I felt we put 8 on in the last quarter, uh, which made it 18-24 or 18-24. But I look at it like we got outplayed. Cincinnati's got our number. I mean, we came out, we went down the field, but then it goes back to like you said with the Saints. Okay, you scored that touchdown. Now we already know. We already know what we're doing here. You know what I mean? Like we know what we're going to
Right.
see. And they
Right.
came out and they shut. It was just kind of like we're not going anywhere. We're not moving the ball. The running game wasn't. I mean, Josh Allen again was our number one rusher. That don't win
And
Super
that's the
Bowls.
problem. Right.
That's a problem. But we got Fournette, and we'll see. You know, Fournette's. I mean, this is his first week, so he didn't play. But we
Right.
need a running game to establish.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, Joe Burrow threw for 348 um, yards. I mean, he used a bunch of different. He threw one, two, three, four, five, six, seven wide receivers. Uh, Buffalo threw to six, but really only three of them were. I mean, he threw to five that had over 20 yards. Actually, all of them had over 20 yards, except for one. And we're just not. I mean, Stephon Diggs he's going to do what he does. Um, uh, Kincaid, I mean, he did all right. I mean, we just, like I said, we just need to have a running game. And I think out of the both losses for the Bills and the Cowboys, I think the Bills came out on the real short stick. I think that it's going to be a long year. I mean, we're 5-4. We got a tough schedule ahead of us. We got to play the Cowboys. The only saving grace on that game is the Cowboys have to come to Buffalo in December, which is normally pretty chilly.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's just kind of one of those things. But the next, I mean, you realize that we're going into week 10.
Yes.
We're already 60% into the season. I mean, like I said, we were waiting. Remember, we were talking like, man, a couple of weeks we're going to have NFL. Now we're at beyond the halfway point.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's
Halfway
just
point. NFL, the NBA's kicking off.
NBA's kicking off. Like I said, we had the Breeders' Cup this weekend. We had all kind of stuff going on. A lot of
We
gambling.
didn't even get a chance to say congratulations to the Texas Rangers.
Congratulate, right? I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
we
World
didn't get it.
Series
Yeah,
champion.
there's been so much going on. We haven't even had a chance to get there yet. So
Yes,
it's down the pipeline. Is all we can say.
yeah, that's exactly it. All right, we are going to be taking a break. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Big Lou, Tony G on KM Radio. Remember, go to km.com, press the play. 24 hours a day of great programming, great music, great shows. I want to thank my guys over at SI Motorsports at the foot of Benton Road. Go by and see Wes or Riffle. Tell them Big Lou and Tony G sent you. Tell them to give you the hookup. All right, guys, we're going to be back in 2 and 2 on KM Radio, where we go ham. KM Radio, we go ham. It's your boy Tony G, Big Lou. Tuesday night, the sports book every Tuesday night. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Got some gambling. We got some gambling. We got some games. This time of year starts to get a little bit crazy. Thursday night game is Carolina Panthers and Chicago Bears. Who? Gee. I believe it or not, Lou, I like Chicago.
Okay.
I like what they've done. I've liked what they've done with the little backup quarterback they got. And they're playing better. Carolina's still got a lot of work. They're I mean, they got, but they're going to get a bunch of draft choices again this year, and they're going to
get some talent around them. And Bryce Young, his numbers are going to be better next season once they get some talent around him and get some things going with their team once they get everything put together.
He'll be fine. Bryce, I like him. Yeah, he's going to be. He is definitely going to be. I think he's going to be a star in our league. I think they got to get him. Granted, they got to get him a lot of help, but with their record, they're going to get a lot of draft choices. You know, they're going to turn into another Miami with a plethora of first round draft choice. But I do like Chicago -3.5. Next game is another one in I can't remember. I don't know where New England's playing, but they're playing. Are they playing in England again? The Colts in New England, because that's 8:00. I like the Colts.
Yeah, they're playing in Frankfurt, Germany.
Okay, that's where. Yeah, I like the Colts -1, and the reason being is I just like I said, New England's having some issues. I mean, they've had a
Yeah.
couple good games, and the Colts are coming off a good win. And the Colts, they're using the quarterback position. I mean, it's just like, hey, we just need you to manage the game.
Hmm.
We don't need Minshew to do anything. You know what I mean? We don't need you to throw for 500 yards. We just need you not to fumble it,
Right.
throw an intercept. Just basic stuff. And they're turning out. But I definitely like the Colts. Um, I definitely like the Colts. Uh,
Okay.
and the Patriots. I mean, you see that? I mean, can you see the Patriots pulling one out?
I think I do see them pulling this one out, as a matter of fact,
Oh,
because um
I'm gonna put
well,
you.
well, hold on, Tony. Well, it is in Frankfurt,
It is in Frankfurt.
but I don't know. It's just like it seems like the Colts are they're 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 gelling with Minshew right now. They're playing
Yeah.
good football with Minshew, so it's hard for me to bet against them, you know, because I got to look at it. Matt Jones, Gardner Minshew, not that much separation, but the Colts are better offensively. So I'm gonna go with you on this, Tony. I'm gonna go with the Colts as well.
Colts minus. And really, to be honest with you, on the line, it's -120, which isn't a bad money line bet because the spread's -1, -110. I think I like the Colts on the money. Um, the over's 43.5. This could be an ugly game. And again, always go back to your uh, injured reserve. That's for sure. Um, Next game this is going to be another good game. Cleveland and the Baltimore Ravens.
Wow,
Baltimore at home. What you thinking?
wow. Baltimore at home, but this is a division
Game?
game, division rival, and that's that's the part that's messed up is that all these teams are good. Even Pittsburgh's hanging in there. They're
Yes.
gonna beat each other up till the playoffs get here.
Yeah. I mean, Cleveland's
Hard to
getting
bet against, yeah.
6 points.
Cleveland's getting six. Hard to bet on Lamar. Hard to bet against Lamar at home though.
Yeah. That's definitely a factor. I mean, Baltimore 7-2. Um, it's a conference game. I'll tell you. Let me look at this one more time. The unders 38.5. So I can see this being a 6 point game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I can see it being very close. Both running. I mean, gonna try to run the ball, eat up a lot of the clock.
Yeah.
Cleveland does have a. I'm gonna put. I like the under 38.5.
Okay.
Um, and I'm gonna look at the. On game day. Um, I'm gonna look at game day and then check out on that score. But right now, I like the under Cleveland 38.5. Um,
Mhm.
it's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
This is one I would say, wow. I mean, definitely. So, what do you think about Houston, Texas going to Cincinnati? Houston's +7. You think the magic continues, or you think Cincinnati's too much for them?
I think I think Cincinnati's too much. Um
I do.
Now
I do too.
I do think that Houston is going to get theirs, but I think Cincinnati's in go mode right now. They're playing some pretty good football, and it looks like Joe Burrow's back. So I'm going to have to go with the Bengals.
What's funny, Lou, is that the last couple of years with the Bengals, they start off slow, and then
Mhm.
right about this time, they just kind of put the foot on the gas and just get
Right.
better as the season. They start off real slow. Um, I would like, this could be one of those ones if you can get on the first half. Cincinnati minus 3.5 will be a nice first half bet. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I like Cincinnati too, minus the 7. I think it's going to be too much. I think Houston matched up well with Tampa, but I think Cincinnati is going to be much at home. Uh, I like Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati minus the 7. Give you a little action on the thing. This could be, yeah, I like Cincinnati. I'm with you on that. How about this one? Tell me about the Saints in Minnesota. Where are you seeing this going? This could go many places.
Yeah, it could. Both teams are 5-4, just above 500. Uh, I don't like my team on the road, but we can pull off road victories if we, remain focused and cut down on the penalties and what have you. Uh, but Josh Dobbs is that dude right now, and now he has a whole week of practice to, learn some of the plays. So that means he could have two, playbooks done since he's got a whole day. But seriously,
Minnesota at home.
yeah, Minnesota at home coming out the big, coming off a big victory. Oh man,
Saints Cup. Saints coming up. I'll tell you what. On this, I believe it or not, um, I do like I do like the over. I'm gonna tell you why. The Saints have given up more points, and then Carr has a tendency of coming alive a little bit later in the third quarter, putting some points on. So I do like the over. New Orleans Saints over 41. Um, but they are playing in the dome. It's a tough one to call, but I do
hmm
like the over. This is one of them games I might, we've said this every week. I mean, we'll give you our picks, but this, we're gonna break it down. We're gonna break it way down come game day, 3, 4 picks.
yeah,
I mean, we're not betting on 18 games. Um, but this is gonna be a tough game. But I do like the over. I can see them both putting some points on the board. Because like I said, Carr will come alive later in the game. Um,
hmm
and Minnesota could put 20 on. You know what I mean? Like I can see the Saints winning 27-20.
yeah,
Um, but the other thing with problem with Minnesota is they're lingerers arounders. You know what I mean? Like they'll stay if you don't put your foot on them. You let them
yeah,
hang around, and they'll find a way how to win. Um,
yeah.
the Saints need this win. Really, they both do. To stay
Absolutely.
pace. Stay pace. Like I said, this is another one I would look over. Um, but I'm right now. I'm looking at. I'm gonna check out the. I'm gonna say New Orleans minus 2.5 right now. May change game time because I got to check out the injury. I got to check out the injury list. Um,
Okay.
who's all? Make sure Kamar. Make sure everybody's is on board. Because Carr hurt his finger, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't Carr? Yeah, yeah. Carr hurt his hand. Let's see how bad that is.
Excuse. Right.
Um, because I don't have a lot of faith in Tyson. What's the backup's name? Uh, for the
Uh,
Saints, Tyson Hill.
Jameis Winston. Oh, Taysom Hill. No,
Isn't
no,
that
he's
he? And not for the whole game.
Yankee guy.
For
No,
yeah,
not
for a couple
playing
plays.
quarterback,
Yeah,
actual quarterback. No, he has
yeah.
no
I if
workouts with the offensive team in that manner.
yeah.
Only on trick
So we
plays and as a diamond, and that's probably two or three out of a dozen. So
yeah. I
it'll be interesting to see, but that's just going to even the odds for Chicago because they're not playing that well themselves, and I think with Taysom Hill starting as quarterback, It
Yeah,
evens it out a little.
yeah. Um,
But
Tennessee
yeah,
Tit- Tennessee Titans and the Buccaneers. Think the Bucks are going to bounce back?
I think they're gonna bounce back. You know, they're 3-5 like, with the Tennessee Titans, but I think they're gonna bounce back at home. Familiar, you
But
know, familiar surroundings, familiar turf. You know, and all Baker needs is one tutty, and he's gonna go on an onslaught.
yeah, I like
So
Tampa
I
minus.
yeah.
Like Tampa, I don't. Under's 38.5. I don't know. I like that. Because my problem with the over for the Titans is, they don't score a lot of points.
Right.
Tampa is playing at home, but definitely like Tampa -1. San Francisco and Jackson playing in Jackson. What you thinking?
Um, Depending on who the quarterback is, San Francisco.
Yeah,
Um,
that's exact.
is
That's and
is
Jaguar.
is uh is
Let's see.
Purdy still hurt?
Let me see. Hold on. Let's make sure before we
Yeah, let me
schedule.
look at some
We're
stuff.
going um home and 2 minutes. This is happening again. Score. Um, San Francisco. God, you pulling it up? Lowe's Brock Purdy operating tractor during 49ers bye week.
Well,
There could be different.
they got him started.
Questionable. They got him starting.
Hmm.
They got him starting.
Let me see. Let me he's not on the injury report.
Okay, they got a 3-game losing streak. It's hard for me to believe that 3-game losing streak isn't going to end. But
Right.
Jacksonville's tough. It's going to be a tough. It's going to be a good test for Jacksonville to see if they're ready to go to the next level.
Right.
But riding with San Fran, I think they're due. Um, San Fran -3.
Okay.
Like San Fran, Atlanta and Arizona Cardinals. I don't know why this is a pick 'em. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that it should be. I'm not saying it should be. It should be a huge deficit, but I like Atlanta to bounce back. Arizona is just kind of depleted.
Pretty much.
They're playing at home.
Hmm.
It's a pick 'em. Atlanta. Arizona's coming off a beating. Um, there's nothing to say that I like Atlanta
Hmm. Atlanta should
to
win this
bounce.
game.
Yeah, bounce back. I like Atlanta to bounce back because Atlanta, like I said, they weren't ready this year, but they're moving in the right direction. They're moving in the right direction. So that's
Absolutely.
yeah. To me, that's half the Commanders and the Seahawks. Seahawks going to bounce back.
They should bounce back at home. They got they got the 12th man at home. So they should bounce back, Gino get his act right and the defense to step it up. So I think they will get that victory at home.
Now, do you think that they're going to clean house in Washington after the season? You think Rivera's gone?
I think Rivera's gone. I think the enemy becomes the head coach. Uh and some things are going to get revamped on both those lines because they got rid of Chase Young, that was their highest paid player. He's with the 49ers now, which I didn't take into consideration. But yeah. So we'll see how it goes with Washington. I think they're gonna do better though. And I think they're gonna get some players in there. And I think they're gonna turn their franchise around pretty quickly. But then it's all based on how the running how he was handled. and it seems like they did a good job with it.
Yeah. So definitely like Seattle minus the 6. The Jets, I mean the Giants and the Cowboys. Okay. Here's one of those games where obviously I think the Cowboys are going to beat them, but there's no money to be made. And the reason why I say that is it's 16 points and it's a
Right.
rivalry game. And this could be, where the Cowboys win by 14, 16. And then
Right.
the money line is minus 1,400. So you'd have to bet $1,400. Let me say, to win $100. You bet $100, you win $10.71. They've taken the money out. Now I'll tell you where they haven't taken the money out. Cowboy over. Because one thing I will say, when Dak and them play a inferior team, Dak will probably throw for 375 yards, and the over's 39. I mean, I can see the Cowboys putting on a aerial attack on this.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants are an NFL team. I get that. But, man, they've got so many issues and not a quarterback
Yeah, it's
that
too
it's
much stuff going on for them to pull off
to
any
overcome.
victory.
Yeah.
Right.
And, in Dallas, I just can't. I mean, and they're plus 800. You know what I mean? If you wanted to throw money at something, if you bet 100,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, wait a minute. Let me get that back. If you bet $200, you'd win $1,800. You bet 100, you win. You know, what I mean, it's. But man, you want to talk about the odds of that with no quarterback, by the way. I just
Yeah.
don't see it. But I do like the Cowboy over. Like I said, 16 points is a lot of points. I watched the Cowboys come out and spank them by 40, but that's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of points. Only because the Giants are going to get up for this. You know what I mean? They
Mm-hmm.
know they're the dogs. They know,
Yeah.
and you never know that when it's a conference game and it's 16 points. Um, and I wouldn't be surprised if you saw it go to 20, to be honest with you. But I like the Cowboys and the
Mm-hmm.
over 39. Last game, I'm trying to fit in some basketball.
Okay.
The Buffalo Bills and the Broncos. Um, Bills are coming off a loss. They're playing at home. They're 7.5 dogs, or not dogs. They're favored by 7.5. Um, the Broncos. The Broncos have looked. There's a couple times they looked pretty good, but for the most part, I don't know if Sean Payton's gonna be able to save all that.
Right.
I mean, there's only so much one man can do. I
Right.
think he's gonna have to. I think he's gonna have to clean house and get his own quarterback. Uh, and let me see, 4 or 5.
I
Let
feel
me
like he
see.
get rid of everything except for Patrick Surtain. Retain Patrick
I mean,
Surtain, dump everything else, and just restart.
yeah, they're 3-5. Um, I know they want to win too because my gosh, you don't want to be 3-6. Kansas City is basically, except for God forbid any kind of bad uh, bunch of injuries. I mean, they're going to walk away with this division, AFC West. Um, I think the only one that looks doable is there really don't. I mean, the Pittsburgh is close to Baltimore, but like Jacksonville is 6-2. Closest they got is Houston's 4-4. Kansas City 7-2. So there's a lot of, and Philly's 8-1. The Cowboys are gonna have to, they're gonna have to try to keep pace. You guys are 5-4, but reality is Atlanta and the Bucks are right there on you.
Mm-hmm.
Game away. So, but yeah, I mean, with the Bills being at home, the Bills -7.5. Um, I think they come out, but this is going to be one of those games where I always tell you guys the same thing. This is where, as a real fan, I like to call myself a real fan, is I'm not going to get hyped because the Bills beat Denver. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because I think we're a better team than Denver. But there's tiers in the NFL, and you can see where they meet.
Mhm.
And they met last night in Cincinnati. And we were on the bottom end of the tier. That's just me being honest. But I do like the Bills -7.5. I'm gonna go switch it because like I said, we've had so much going on and trying to
Mhm.
fit as much going in. What do you think about James Harden? What do you think? What do you think? Are they going to make a move over there or what?
Um, I think they're going to be pretty good. I don't think they're going to make any major significant changes until all of them hit the floor and get to chilling.
Yeah,
Now, of course, Harden has history with Paul George and he has history with Russ, but we'll see if it all comes together here. I'm curious to see, but when we see it first, knee tweak or ankle tweak, then we're going to see if they're truly, a team like they say they are.
yeah. It's they got their. I know they got their work cut out for them. That's for sure. Um, they got their work cut out for them because Denver, the Mavericks, the Warriors. Um, and I'm not going to be surprised if San Antonio. Um, who else were you going to say? Do you
No,
think
I
the
was just
Lakers are?
saying it was.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I like how the Lakers are set up this year. They got shooters around. They're even thinking about, Brennan LeBron as point guard. Setting the offensive up. What he does anyway. And
right.
I like the way they look. Tall but effective. Now they got shooters, and it's going to be interesting to see. So far so good. Now I know a lot of people are putting doubt on the. Hold on a second. I something came across and it made me miss my whole train of thought. So go ahead, Tony. While it clicks back in my head, I had
Oh,
just got a
so I mean, like I said, somebody asked me about Denver, and I said,
mhm,
Denver has a possibility of repeating. They have enough talent. They have enough the way they're structured, definitely. But like I said, there's going to be a lot of good competition, and we're 7 games in the season, so let's not get too. Now, come January, February, especially in the Eastern Conference. I mean, the Boston's 5-0 right now. All right, it's the first 5 games. Calm down, but come January and they're 26-2, you might start concerning and go, they're making a move. You know what I mean? I mean, Philly and all everybody, the Bucks, but the Bucks are kind of a slow. You know what I mean? So
mhm.
right now it's a lot of. Right now it's just a lot of feeling each other out, getting on. I mean, like I said, we're in game 5. We're not definitely we're not it's not set in stone. Anything could pop off. But it is interesting to see that your good teams from last year are where they were. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
Boston's at number 1, Philly's at number 2. Now 3 and 4, Atlanta and Orlando. But again, it's still early. Then you got Milwaukee, and then going into the Western Conference. I'm not surprised to see Denver, Dallas, Golden State up there. That doesn't
Mhm.
surprise me. But there's still a lot of the season just began, and I know the Lakers are going to get tuned up, and the Clippers are going to get tuned up when they get all adjusted to playing with each other, and I
Mhm.
think they're we're going to be in for some really really good basketball. Like I said, guys, I want to thank everyone every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Tony G, Big Lou, And again, we can't tell you guys enough. If you have any questions, give us a call, 318-221-5422. You can reach us at KM Radio on Facebook. You can reach us at the Sportsbook on radio on Facebook. Reach out to us. Again, we do a lot of announcements and stuff for people with their groups. We got a new league coming. Reach out to the station, 318-221-5422. If you got some commercials you want, they do it all at the station. Can't promote them enough. TV, radio. And again, I want to thank some of our longtime listeners. I want to thank my guy, Corey Shepard, over there at Connected Bottle, Mansfield Road, 8982 Mansfield Road. Go support small business. This is small business. Everybody on my list, small business. From Big Robbie Billiards to SI Motorsports, Corey Shepard. The list is long. Reach out to us, 318-221-5422. I want to thank everyone on this Tuesday night, 8 o'clock on KM Radio, #1 station in the world. Tony G, Big Lou on KM Radio, where we go ham.
Yeah.
Cool.